Hi everyone, I'm Todd Lusheen. I'm the Regional VP for Region 5. In this video, I'm going to cover a whole range of things. But before we begin with the presentation, I want to show you how you can look up your chapter's membership information, or the member information rather. So go to the ASSP website, click on Login. You're going to either need to know your login or you can contact customer service to get assistance with it. Hopefully this goes pretty quick. Already 30 seconds in. I should have introduced myself while this was coming up. Hopefully it fills in for me because I always forget mine. Mine is set up with my email address. Click Login. And depending on what you're registered or listed as for an officer, that'll dictate what you have access to. Because I remember when I was a president, I was able to go in and download just my chapter's membership. And you can also delineate which ones were recently, or like their membership is currently in, it needs to be renewed or they didn't. Okay, so once you're logged in, you need to go to your profile, which is my account. Minute 30 in. I'm going to have to speed up everything else. I wanted to demonstrate this so you knew how to do it, if you didn't already. I have to log in again. That's really weird, because it said I was logged in. Finally, so you get to your account. If you go right above your picture, you see it says My Account and My Groups. Go ahead and click on My Groups. Mine says Region and Areas. Yours will probably say whatever chapter you're officer in. And again, if you need help, you can contact customer service or reach out to me or your area director. And it talks about terms and use. So I've got my chapter reports right here. So active and grace, new members within the last 30 days, roster expired last 30 days, roster transfers last 30 days, leadership report, chapter logistics. And in my other video, I'd shared the chapter logistics. So I know what the membership levels are right now. You can also get reports from PSPs and SIGs. So that's how you do that. Also, if you are looking for additional assistance, this is SOG, or Standard Society Operating Guideline 8.5, and this talks about chapter requirements. So member requirements, operational activity requirements, reporting requirements, all this stuff here. So this is related to the COMPT, okay? So I want to make sure I got to cover all that. Now let's get on with the program. 3 minutes in. And just a real quick, there we go. So I would like you to reach out to myself and the area directors through LinkedIn. And so here's my profile, here's Tony's profile, here's Jim's profile. It's just real easy way to be in contact. This is the letter that I receive as your RVP, and it has all the information, links to handouts and PowerPoints, and I put them all together in this one presentation. This presentation right now is meant to represent about a 4-hour presentation at the ROC. And so we're saving time, people. I'm compressing everything. This is just about having a vibrant community with ASSP. Don't hide in the corner. Try to get out and talk to people. That based on the 8.5 or the SOG 8.5 update, minimum of 1 to 4 accessible meetings, at least 2 which have to be face-to-face. This is for your chapter. These are requirements, key dates. You connect with your leadership team in January and August. You submit your operational plan, which is something we're going to discuss and hopefully improve. Include your sections and student sections. So that's not, I'm not sure if that's something you're all doing. I'm also a faculty advisor for UW-Whitewater. I'm a professor there. And we did update our bylaws already and got them signed off. I had 2 of the signatures. And we created an operational plan to try and rebuild our student section after the pandemic. We have this is for the Regional Operation Committee meeting in the fall. So, this is really get everything in line, get our ducks in a row for the year, right? And then we've got a leadership conference. I've got it written down for the 20th and 21st. That's correct. So I covered the comp in the other video, so I don't want to go too much into it. Here's the FAQ, and I'll provide this along with other handouts that were provided to me. This is going to be another focus during the ROC meeting, and as I had shown you in the other video, I studied what everybody submitted last year, and I think based on that, I should be able to come up with some good ideas to help you all out. We laid all these out. These are the requireds. This is for strong impact and then the support. And I had provided a breakdown, I believe, of where everybody ranked, and we're going to have the top chapters share some of their highlights for everybody, and make sure that my area directors and other people help focus on those that could use a hand. Should have all uploaded your operational plan, though 2 chapters I know did not yet, and we will be working on that. Make sure you get in and indicate that you're updating your website, which is going to be another focal point for myself and the area directors. Make sure everybody's updating their websites. Hopefully we have a good attendance at the ROC meeting coming up. And then make sure everybody is doing their leadership training and transition activities. So these are the questions on the comp report. Every chapter, again, is given a unique link to theirs. And if you need yours, you can reach out to me. More stuff that we kind of covered already. As far as if you are a chapter leader and you're wanting to become more involved at the regional level, we'll discuss and vote on a deputy RVP. It's currently Jim Nelson. He's also the area director for Area 2. So I'm sure he'll be in the running too, but if there's any current chapter presidents that are interested, speak up. I'm also looking for assistant RVPs for communication and, media, and also for student affairs. And I would actually like to have committees dedicated to those 2 areas. So if anybody in your chapter is really good at media and communications or is interested in participating in the student affairs, please help me out. I'm probably going to be reaching out to a lot of the faculty advisors for this one here. So we're going to be in Des Moines in September. In the spring, sometime in either late March, early April, we need a chapter from Area 1 to volunteer. So last spring it was the Wisconsin chapter. I don't know where it was before that, but we'll talk and we'll figure out which chapter wants to host it. And then we've got the virtual leadership conference. And I think that you all should get as many of your board members to attend as possible. Sign up and attend. I don't think there's any limit on the number that can join. Might be good for some people who have very minor leadership roles to engage in that. Or if there's anybody in your chapter who's been coming to meetings who seems to be interested in learning more of what it's like to be a volunteer leader, maybe we can sign them up too. But let's take advantage of that opportunity, especially since it's virtual. It's just people logging on, right? They're still limiting the travel money, or what do they call that? Recoup the money, whatever. For travel, so the regional leaders can only travel to only get money for one of the ROCs. We'll figure out the other. But there are opportunities that we can request a speaker, and that would be supplied. For this ROC, I pre-recorded it with Pam Walowski. There is a new advisory group. It came out of the sunsetting of the House of Delegates. And this is kind of a general layout of we've had 1 meeting so far. I got to look up and see when the next one is. There will be the number of delegates that a chapter has based on their membership size dictates how many people from their chapter can be on the advisory board. And if you're Scott Huberty from the Northwest chapter or any of the officers, I misspoke during one of your planning meetings on that. It is similar to the HOD allotment. Yep, so let's send as many people as possible from our region to the leadership conference. Thank you. There is going to be a chapter bylaws update, obviously, because we have to take out the HOD language and we have to add the advisory board. So I got an email from Jerry. Both Tony and Jim were copied on this, and it talks about what we're going to be doing. Everybody should have received an email from Society asking you to look at a red line version of your bylaws and vote whether you want to accept it or not. And I believe this is what the language looked like. It came to probably multiple members based on, again, who you reported to Society were your executive level board members. And then you vote based on the submission that's provided. So this is what it looks like. If you did not receive this, your vote needs to be in by September 7th, which is just a little over a week from this moment right now. I'll try to get my Tony and Jim to follow up with everybody. All right, we're transitioning already. We've already saved like 45 minutes of time. Talk a little bit about the CEU. So it's completely online now. And actually, I am putting together an application for CEUs for a 2-day conference that the Wisconsin chapter is putting together. And what I did is I created an Excel sheet. I could share it after I complete it. And I'm asking all the speakers to enter information. I also provided a video on how to write effective learning objectives using the Bloom's taxonomy for learning, and provided my entries as well, because I'm speaking at it too. I just have like 3 more speakers who have to submit their information, and then I can upload it along with some other information, and hopefully we can get our members or the attendees to receive CUs. And it would be through Society. If they're an ASSC member, it's put right onto their transcript. It's kind of cool. And this just kind of talks about how to do it and what to do afterwards, how to claim it. Very cool. And here's other information for the chapters and community groups. Awesome. We also have information here. Again, I'm going to be providing all these flyers for you. There's Chapter Communities Marketing Kit, all kinds of brand type stuff. I may be looking into similar things like this for the spring ROC to share with everybody. My student section is actually looking at options right now as well to provide branded shirts, hats, pins, stickers to promote their student section and the university. As far as chapter web tools go, there's information here. I think what I'll do, I'm going to be sharing something with you. I'm going to be focusing on improving all the websites, starting with the regional one, and that's why I want a committee from the chapters. One is for recruiting. They want us to be recruiting and adding members, and I think this is a good time to do it. Unemployment's really low. Some people were really busy, and maybe they have a little time to start thinking about their own professional development and networking and really getting involved in the profession. And so there is this membership. If you refer, you get possible prizes. Also, there's a call for speakers, for presenters for Safety 2023. The deadline is the 28th. If you have any questions, I can talk you through it. I'm actually assembling 2 proposals for Safety 2023 with a couple of friends of mine that I've worked with for years. Safety Focus is October 24th to the 28th. This is the face-to-face in Columbia, Maryland. There will also be one during the late winter, early spring. Usually it's in February, but it may be March now. And I think that one's going to be virtual, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll see. But this is a great condensed learning opportunity, very immersed, if you will. We also we want to make this information available to our members as well. I want to make sure that it's all updated and correct, because there is also on-demand trainings that are offered. Some are actually free. Some you see here you can pay, and you can see how many CEUs you can get. I think I'd try to get my employer to pay for those if I was you. So here's some other just highlights of some resources available through business and leadership and construction, risk, fall protection. And you could also, if you desire, we're really going to focus on updating the regional website, creating regional newsletters that they can go all to the chapters and sections, and then you guys can use it. But if you feel so inclined, you can also promote your events through Professional Safety Journal. You can see here are the costs. There are also member stories you can contribute. You can submit your idea to professionalsafety@assp.org. I think Sue Trebswell Trebsweller is head of that. Oh no, maybe it's Tina now. Sue must have been promoted. Message from the editor. So yeah, okay. So now it's Tina. Tina is now the person you contact. There's a call for submissions. There's podcasts. So if you have a story to tell or would like to share some expertise, please do so. Protect your chapter from phishing and attacks. I hear once in a while from our officers that they received a kind of a weird email from me. And so, the scammers out there are getting more and more creative with coming up with emails and texts and other things to try and get personal information and try to hack into your system. I do assume that your workplace has this training as well, because I know I get it every few months. You don't need to know, I'm not going to test you on this, but know that there are some things you can look for for things that are fishy. So if I receive this email from Ariel Semmel, you see here it doesn't have the ASSP.org, and so right away I question it. Sometimes there's misspellings or bad grammar. Oh, and they say, can we process via wire transfer or check? And they want it right away. And also, I always look for the person's signature and not just like their name. Okay, so they're saying, look at that. I guess that was weird too. Yeah, gift cards are always a dead giveaway. I actually got a text message from what I thought was my office administrator at work. And she's never texted me before, but I was really busy and I was in the middle of stuff. And I'm like, hey, what can I do for you? And she's like, hey, I have a favor to ask. Do you have any, can you do something for me? I'm like, yeah, what is it? She goes, is there a CVS near you? And I knew right away, it's a scam. So I said, please delete my number. And they swore at me. So here's other, again, look at everything, examine everything. Sometimes what you want to do is just pick up the phone and call the person and say, is this real? So yeah, make sure that you look at this stuff and that it's actually coming from the proper email and not a title and then a weird email actually. Okay? And contact the people if anything else. You can, you will definitely want to delete it. You don't want to reply. You do want to report it and inform people. There isn't much we can do to track the person down, especially if they're not in the States. But just don't get hooked. Succession planning. We always talk about this a little bit later than we should, but all year long we should be trying to identify interested individuals who come to our meetings or contact us and find out, would they be willing to take on a potential volunteer leadership position? And if not, what could we do to maybe get them more involved in a smaller capacity? And so again, I've got some regional committee positions. The time would be meeting like once a month or once every 2 months virtually. And they just kind of share their information. If anybody wants to volunteer to take something over, they can. So member recruitment, member engagement, you guys know the drill, but some chapters need a little bit more assistance. And we're actually going to come up with, we're going to be experimenting, myself, the current chapter leaders who need help, and the area directors, and see what we can do to try and be more active in our engagement and reaching out to people to see who can help out. Yeah, okay. Do we have to convince you? What do we have to do? We need to find out what community needs are, track potential leaders, engage members, and show appreciation. That's their recipe. Okay, I didn't know that was going to do that. I've identified the open positions, at the regional level that I want to fill, and what are the bylaws as far as how we go about it. The deputy is voted in at the ROC meeting. The others I can assign. For the student section, I actively pursued students who were recommended by other faculty as being good students, reliable students, responsible. And, we identify additional opportunities so that no one person has everything on their shoulders, because that's kind of the mistake we made in the past. And then when that person is done with their position, when they rotate on, it's forcing me to go forward. We lose things, and we don't, and people can get tired and quit too. Again, this is just trying to get, who's coming to your meetings, who's contacting you, who might be interested, and that's also a reason why we should be investing in our student sections, because when they graduate and go out and start working, hopefully they'll join a parent chapter, and then hopefully they're enthused to give back at that point. Since we should be giving them a lot now. Connect on a personal level and talk to them. A lot of leaders today, that's how they got involved. That's how I got involved. Oh, we've got graphics here. Coolio. And make sure you do show appreciation. Thank the people, recognize people. I'm asking that, actually for one of my classes, actually 20% of their course grade goes towards, I want them to go to ASSP chapter meetings and involve themselves in student things and other community technical meetings and events. And if they do, I haven't created the scoring rubric yet, but I hope when they go to the ASP meetings, they get introduced, and I'll ask the leaders to do that. You should do that too. Let's see, what else here? These are really pretty pictures, and this is stuff that hopefully you're reading faster than I need to speak. I should have increased the font of that, though. I was trying to make these slides a little bit prettier, and I think I did an okay job. We are done! 20 minutes, baby. Boom! Okay, I showed you how to... I think I was going to show you, and I did make it on here, a grading rubric that it's for chapter websites. And I'll introduce it at the ROC meeting itself. The area directors and I are going to try to do some actual... attempt to score some of your websites, and I was looking at some of them, and even the some of the chapters who scored really high on the compt, not everything is updated. And I found out that even though you go on to to fill out your comp report, that hey, yeah, every 3 months we're doing stuff, I noticed that there isn't much follow-up. And so I asked them the honor system. All right, this is going super, super slow, so I'm going to stop it. Oh, one last thing. When you download your chapter information, make sure you're using Microsoft Edge. Because if you're using Microsoft Edge, when you go and try to click on something, it's going to want to download it as a PDF. And what you can do is you can go up and download it as an Excel or another type of document. But you could only access that document transition within Microsoft Edge. Maybe I'll demonstrate to the schedule conference on October 20th and 21st. Thank you for everything you do. Thanks for putting up with me for the last 20 minutes. Yeah, have